Hello, fans, and welcome to This Day in Baseball, where we're going to bring you a full radio broadcast of today's game. And before we do that, I just want to thank Classic Baseball Radio, and there's a link in the notes where you can check out their full channel. They have many great radio broadcasts. And while you're listening to today's game, if you want to check out much more about the game and the players, look on the links below, and you're going to see links to player pages, the date the game happened, the year it happened, and the play-by-play. Enjoy the game, and check out the links while you're watching the game, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that every time new content comes out, you're going to get that firsthand. And thank you again for checking out This Day in Baseball, and enjoy the game.
Well, very simple. Here's exactly what must happen tonight. San Francisco must win this baseball game, and they've gotten the National League Western pennant. It's not a must game. I have to correct myself on that one, actually. If the Dodgers lose, it's all over with. That's just about as simply put as possible. The Dodgers lose, and that's it, regardless. If San Francisco wins, well, then they also have it. The only possibility that exists for a playoff is a San Francisco loss and a Dodger win. That is the only way that the season will be extended to Friday for a one-game playoff in San Francisco. And again, to repeat, that is a San Francisco loss and a Dodger victory. That's the only way it'll happen. So that is the possibility facing the teams as they head into action in just a few moments now. It'll be the San Francisco Giants versus the San Diego Padres, and a little bit later on, the Houston Astros versus the Los Angeles Dodgers, and we'll be doing the same thing as we did previously. That is, joining, perhaps, depending on how this baseball game is going along, if the Giants have wrapped it up, well, then perhaps we will not join the Dodgers network, but we'll have to wait for that time to come up. But should it be advisable to do so, then we'll join Vin Scully and Jerry Dargett of the Los Angeles Dodgers network at the conclusion of this baseball game. Well, a bit of history in the nation's capital as the Washington Senators completed their 71 history at the city of Washington, and they did it in a rather odd way. Washington trailed in the ball game by the score of 5-1 against the New York Yankees. Frank Howard hit his 26th home run of the season, got a standing ovation from the crowd of 14,460. He took 3 encores and finally tossed his batting helmet up to the crowd for a souvenir. Just a tremendous reaction from the crowd. And that was the score, 5-2, and the Senators battled back. They kept chipping away at the lead. They finally tied the score at 5-5, took a 7-5 lead into the top half of the 9th inning. The Senators got 2 out in the top of the 9th inning and were just 1 out away from completing their history in Washington and from winning their final ball game of the season, and their final ball game, of course, in Washington. But the Senators lost the ball game. The Senators lost it on a forfeit. The crowd, hundreds of youngsters running on the field, all the New York Mets running on the field, stole the bases, they took off with the bases, they decimated the scoreboard, there was nothing left on the scoreboard, and finally, the umpires were forced to forfeit the game to the New York Yankees. So when you read that score in your Stars and Stripes, it'll read the New York Yankees 9 and the Washington Senators nothing by the forfeit score. So a rather sad note. As far as Washington is concerned, they had the fan support, the crowd there of 14,460, one of the largest to see a Senators game in recent weeks. 14,460 is a biggie of a crowd for Washington. Del Burnett of AFRTS Sports attended that baseball game, and he quite possibly will drop by on his way home, and if he does, talk was out a little bit about what went on out there. It sounded like quite an interesting baseball game, but not only that, quite an ending to that baseball game and to the Washington Senators in the city of Washington. So that's something that we're looking forward to should Del Burnett drop by. On the baseball scoreboard in the National League, the Pittsburgh Pirates knocked off the Philadelphia Phillies by the score of 4-3. 4 runs, 5 hits, and no errors for Pittsburgh. 3-8-0 for Philadelphia. Bryles, Moose, Johnson, Miller, and Justy for Pittsburgh. Champion Brandon, Lersch, and Wilson for Philadelphia. Champion wound up the winner. His record is 3-5. Sanguillen hit his 7th home run with none on in the 3rd. Montanez hit his 30th for Philadelphia with 1 on in the 3rd inning. Atlanta dropped Cincinnati by the score of 6-2. 6 runs, 8 hits, and an error for Atlanta. 2 runs, 4 hits, and 3 errors for Cincinnati. Wilcox and Bourbon for the Reds. House and Niebar for Atlanta. House the winner, 1-0. Wilcox the loser. His record is 2-2. Perez hit his 25th home run for Cincinnati, and Brazil hit his first for Atlanta, and Brazil's home run came with none on in the 7th inning. Atlanta blasted that game wide open by scoring a half a dozen runs in the 7th inning, and that was all the scoring in that ball game, and that was it, as the Braves knocked off Cincinnati by the score of 6-2. Those are the only final scores we have in at the moment in the National League. In the American League, 2 afternoon games in that Senator-New York clash, which New York won by forfeit. In the afternoon, California, 3 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors. Minnesota, 2 runs, 9 hits, and an error. May Allen, the pitchers for California, Cott and Roof for Minnesota. Cott, the loser, 13-14. May got the win. His record is 11-12. Chicago nosed out Milwaukee by the score of 2-1, scoring in the 2nd and 3rd innings. 2 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors for Chicago. Milwaukee, 1 run on 2 hits and 1 error. Parsons, Morris, Krause, Sanders for Milwaukee. Magnuson, Hinton, Eddie, O'Toole, Perzowski for Chicago. Hitting the winner, his record is 3-4, and Parsons got his 17th loss against 13 wins. Melton hit his 33rd home run for Chicago, and as a result, Bill Melton has won the American League Home Run Championship. He was tied with 32, and he's now the first White Sox player ever to win the home run title, and has enabled the 1971 White Sox to tie the club record for the most homers in a season.
San Francisco Giants, San Diego Padres, who started the 1971 season right here in this ballpark, San Diego Stadium. Now the regular National League Western campaign comes to a close here. Juan Marichal, who was the starting pitcher in that opening game of the season, will be going for the Giants tonight. For San Diego, left-handed, a most imposing earned run average, the number 2 man in the National League behind Tom Seaver. Roberts goes in with an ERA of 2.03, a record of 14 wins and 16 losses. Marichal on the year has won 17 and he has lost 11. We'll have the complete starting lineup when we return in just 1 minute.
Well, as we mentioned, Bill Melton grabbed the American League Home Run Championship on the last day of the season when he belted his 3rd homer in 2 days and the 33rd of the year to lead the White Sox to that 2-1 victory over the Brewers. His 3rd inning smash gave him the championship by 1 homer over Reggie Jackson and Norm Cash, both who completed their season. 5 young White Sox pitchers limit the Brewers to 2 hits. Pinch hitter Sid O'Brien broke a 1-1 tie with a 2-run single in the 8th inning to give the California Angels a 3-2 win over the Minnesota Twins and 4th place in the American League's Western Division. The 2 teams had entered in the final game tied for 4th. Leo Cardenas, who started the game at shortstop for the Twins, was removed in the 5th after setting a major league record for the fewest errors in 150 or more games. He had just 11. The final game of the regular season was to be played under the lights as New York met the soon-to-be departing Washington Senators, and that game over, forfeited, as we mentioned to you previously, to the New York Yankees, as Washington, leading by a score of 7-5 in the top of the 9th inning, was unable to get a number of youngsters off the field, and as a result, the umpires forfeited the game to New York.
The umpires at home plate, joined there by the Giant captain Willie Mays and the Padres coach Dave Garcia for the exchanging of lineup. Starting lineup for San Francisco. In left field, leading off, Ken Henderson. Batting second, playing second base, Tito Puentes. Batting third, playing center field, Willie Mays. Batting fourth, playing first base, Willie McCovey. Batting fifth and playing right field in place of the injured Bobby Bonds, rookie Dave Kingman. Batting sixth and catching, Dick Dietz. Batting seventh, playing third base, Alan Gallagher. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, Chris Spire. And batting ninth and doing the pitching, right-hander Juan Marichal. For the home-standing San Diego Padres, Don Mason will be at second base and leading off. Batting second, the third baseman, Gary Jestat. Batting third, playing center field, John Jeter. Batting fourth, playing first base, Nate Colbert, whose 3-run homer in the 10th inning won last night's ball game for San Diego. Batting fifth, playing right field, Ollie Brown. Batting sixth, the left fielder, Larry Stahl. Batting seventh and catching, Bob Barton. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Tommy Dean. Batting ninth and doing the pitching, left-hander Dave Roberts. The umpires taking their positions on the field. Game being delayed because of a couple of telecasts of the game, and also to allow the crowd to get in here at San Diego Stadium. And they will have one of their best turnouts of the season tonight. Marichal and Roberts still loosening up. Marichal in the right field bullpen. Roberts in left field. The umpires tonight will be Chris Bellicudis behind the plate, Lee Wire at first base, Dick Stello at second base, and Shag Crawford at third. The Giants clinging to a one-game lead in the National League West of the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers playing in Dodger Stadium tonight against the Houston Astros. Starting pitchers there scheduled to be a pair of right-handers, Don Sutton for Los Angeles and Jack Billingham for Houston. The Giants, of course, can end it all with just a victory, but just a victory is quite a phrase. The Dodgers must win no matter what happens to the Giants. It takes a Dodger win and a Giant loss if this National League West is to win in a tie. Should that happen, there will be a one-game playoff tomorrow afternoon at Candlestick Park. Then with the National League Championship Series due to start in either Candlestick Park or Dodger Stadium on Saturday. Roberts now has completed his warm-up. He walks in from the bullpen with pitching coach Roger Craig. Marichal still throwing out in the right field corner. Game still being held up. As we mentioned, for a couple of reasons. We'd like to take the opportunity to say hello to baseball fans around the world listening in over Armed Forces Radio and to a number of other stations in the United States that have joined our network for this evening. In Florida, New York, Arizona, Massachusetts, Alaska, Hawaii, Washington, and Oregon. Padres still have not taken the field. Mentioned Dave Roberts, the starting pitcher. Roberts, 14 and 16 on the year, has started 36 times, or correct that, he has started 33 times, has 36 total appearances with 14 complete games. Has pitched 266 and 1/3 innings. Roberts has given up just 61 bases on balls, 9 of those intentional. Has struck out 134. A great earned run average of 2.03. Padres now take the field. Roberts, 14 and 16 this year, 22-32 lifetime. 0-3 versus the Giants in 1971 and lifetime. Now with the Padres at their positions, we will now hear our national anthem. Roberts out to complete his warm-ups on the mound. Defensively, San Diego was Gary Justat at third base, Tommy Dean at short, Don Mason at second, Nate Colbert at first. In left field, Larry Stahl. In center field, John Jeter. In right field, Ollie Brown. Catcher is Bob Barton. The pitcher, left-hander Dave Roberts. San Diego Stadium, 330 feet down the line, 370 in the power alleys, 420 to straightaway center, and a 17-foot wall completely around the playing field. Kenny Henderson will lead off for the Giants. Henderson, the left fielder. Then second baseman Tito Puentes and center fielder Willie Mays. Repeating the umpires for you, Chris Pellicutis behind the plate, Lee Wire at first, Dick Stullo at second, Shag Crawford at third. The Giants coaches, Johnny McNamara at third and Wes Westrom at first. Henderson playing in his hometown of San Diego. Kenny batting .264, 15 home runs, 64 runs batted in. Switch batter will bat right-handed. Left-hander Dave Roberts to the plate. Misses just outside, ball one. Roberts had been scheduled to start the first game of this series, but had a bad back after his last turn and was given 2 additional days rest. Takes the fastball strike to Henderson, a 1-1 count. A 1-1 count on Kenny Henderson, leading off the top of the first. Roberts back to the plate, 1-1. A let-up hit high in the air to center field. Routine play for John Jeter. Backs up a few steps, turns, makes the catch, out number 1. Henderson flies to center for the first out. The Giants batter will be second baseman Tito Puentes. Another switch batter batting right-handed. Tito into the game at .270 with 4 home runs, 52 RBI. Padre defense plays shallow in the infield against one. He's at third base. Justat shortens up. Roberts misses outside, ball 1. Giants won the first game of the series 7-1 behind Gaylord Perry. Lost last night 4-1 in 10 innings as Nate Colbert hit a 3-run homer in the extra inning. Roberts pitch, breaking ball low, ball 2, and Roberts doesn't like the call by Chris Pellicutis. Hit it as Bob Barton, the catcher. 2-0 count on Puentes, batting in the top of the first with 1 out, the bases empty. Roberts kicks and throws. A fastball, a called strike in the outside corner. That pitch just above the knees. Roberts noted as a control pitcher, a guy who keeps the ball down, changes speed. 2-1 pitch. Hit deep to left field. Back goes Gall. Still going back. This one is off the wall. Puentes goes into second with a double as the center fielder, Jeter, over to back up the play, throws into third base. Gall went to the wall and leaped, was up over his head. As we mentioned, a 17-foot concrete wall here in San Diego Stadium. That hit about 12 feet up on the fence, bounced back. Puentes is at second base with 1 out. Here's Willie Mays, batting right-handed against the left-hander Roberts. First pitch to Mays. Fastball strike. Willie batting .271, 18 home runs, 60 RBI. The opening game of the season, the Giants and Padres battled each other. Mays homered his first time at bat. Puentes away from second. Roberts checks there, comes to the plate. Breaking pitch, foul back into the seat, strike 2. The on-deck circle for the Giants, first baseman Willie McCovey. Giants play Mays around to the left, deep in the outfield and the infield. Puentes getting a pretty good lead at second base. Mason, the Padres second baseman, trying to keep him close. Now Don bluffing in behind him. Pitch to Mays is high and away, ball 1. Ball and 2 strikes from the Giant captain. Mays, who went through the Pennant fever, Pennant race, long ago as 1951. Roberts looking at second base. The 1-2 pitch. High inside, ball 2. Martin asks for another baseball and gets it. Roberts in front of Mays, 0-2. Now runs the count even at 2-2. Henderson flied to center to open the ball game. Fuentes doubled high off the left field wall. Mays with a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Roberts looks at second, comes to the plate, a fastball popped up, foul, and might be playable. Racing over is Colbert, the first baseman, and makes the catch. Over by the stand as Mays fouls out for the second out. Willie McCovey, the Giants' first baseman, batting .273, 18 home runs, 70 RBIs. McCovey, left-handed batter against the left-hander Dave Roberts. The Padres will put 3 infielders on their right side as they go to the McCovey shift. Jestat, the third baseman, 30 feet off the line at third. Roberts' curve is swung on at the strike line. Fuentes at second. 2 outs, top of the first, no score. Roberts looks back at second, and McCovey asks for time at the plate. Backs away. Time was granted by Pellicudis before the pitch was delivered. The shortstop, Tommy Dean, playing almost directly behind second base now. Mason halfway between first and second on the outfield grass. Colbert deep at first, a step and a half off the line. Foul of the screen by McCovey, strike 2. Roberts in front of Willie Mack, 0-2. McCovey digging a new foothold in the batter's box. Dave Roberts ready. And again, time is called at the plate. I believe McCovey brushed Barton's glove on his backswing. Fuentes moving away from second. The 0-2 pitch to McCovey. Curve outside. Sharp breaking curve, might have been the slider. There's the supply of baseballs taken out to Pellicudis, the plate umpire. Fuentes able to get a fairly good lead at second base. Roberts looks back there, comes to the plate. Breaking ball, foul back into the seat. Count remains at 1-2. We're in the top of the first at San Diego. Giants batting with 2 outs and Tito Fuentes at second base. Again, Roberts checking the runner. Comes to the plate. Curve, line drive, base hit, right field. We'll have a play at the plate as Ollie Brown is up with the ball. Here comes the throw. It's in time. Fuentes did not fly. McCovey singles, but Fuentes is thrown out at the plate as Tito did not slide, and Bob Barton made the tag. The Giants failed to score. Ollie Brown, a former Giant, throwing to Bob Barton, another former Giant, to cut down Fuentes. In the first for San Francisco. No runs on 2 hits. No San Diego errors. A runner left on at the end of a half an inning. The Giants nothing. The Padres coming to bat.
The New York Mets and Tom Seaver have defeated the St. Louis Cardinals by the score of 6-1. And Tom Seaver has won his 20th ball game of the season against 10 losses. 6 runs, 8 hits, and no errors for New York. A run 7 and 1 for St. Louis. As New York scored 6 runs in the 5th and 6th innings. 1 in the 5th and 5 in the 6th inning. Padres Patterson was the loser. His record is 0-1. Other National League Finals, Atlanta 62 over Cincinnati, Pittsburgh 4-3 over Philadelphia, and Chicago and Montreal are still playing. Bacabella hit a home run for Montreal with none on in the ninth inning. And now we see the final has just come in as Montreal has been unable to come from behind. Chicago scored 3 times in the top of the ninth to take a lead of 5-2, and Bacabella's home run made it 5-3. That's how the game ended as Ferguson Jenkins won his 24th game of the season for Chicago. He finishes at 24-13.
The Giants defensively, Alan Gallagher at third base, Chris Fire at short, Tito Fuentes at second, Willie McCovey at first, Ken Henderson in left field, Willie Mays in center, Dave Kingman in right, Dick Dietz the catcher, and Juan Marichal the pitcher. Marichal has won 17 and lost 11. This is his 37th start of the year. He has 17 complete games. Earned run average of 3.03. Marichal, 225 major league wins against 109 losses. 3-1 versus San Diego this year, and 6-4 lifetime. Don Mason, other former Giant, leads off for San Diego. Mason, left-handed batting second baseman. Marichal pitches a screwball, low ball one. San Diego coaches Bob Skinner at third, Dave Garcia at first. Juan over the top, fastball, line to center field. Mays is back. He's got it, out number 1. Mason hit it well, but Mays turned it into a routine play. The Padres, right-handed batting third baseman Gary Jestat. Jestat batting .292. Marichal's pitch is bunted foul for strike 1. Jestat, no home runs, 13 RBIs. Mason was at the plate with an average of .212, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs. 1 out, bottom of the first, no scores. The Giants failed to score in the first, despite having a double and a single. As 20s was kept down at the plate. The 0-1 pitch to Jestat, hit high in the air to right field. Dave Kingman moving to his right, waits and makes the catch for out number 2. With 2 outs when the base is empty, the Padres batter will be the center fielder John Jeter. Jeter batting .324 since being obtained from the Pirates, playing in his 18th game. That's 1 home run, 3 RBIs. Jeter, a right-handed batter. Gallagher shortens up at third. Juan Marichal kicks from dumb sidearm with a curve. That's a call strike on the inside corner. Juan over the top this time, breaking ball outside. The slider misses. A 1-1 count. Juan Marichal kicks sidearm, breaking pitch, swung on and missed, strike 2. A 1-2 count on Jeter. The on-deck circle, the first baseman, Nate Colbert. Marichal, sidearm again, curve, lashed to Gallagher, off his glove, picks it up, turns, throws to first, not in time. Willie McCovey thinks they had him at first base. McCovey is really upset with Lee Wire. Jeter lashed the shot off the glove of the third baseman Gallagher. He chased it down, drew to first, made a good throw, but it was too late. The Padres have a base runner. The game is underway in Los Angeles. Houston and the Dodgers. Jeter with a lead at first. Marichal's breaking pitch is a call strike on the outside corner. Colbert, big guy, batting .266, but with 27 home runs, 84 RBIs. The Padre leader in those 2 departments. Jeter with good speed at first base. Marichal over the top. Breaking pitch just outside. A 1-1 count. Here with his lead. Quick throw to first. Jeter back in. A ball and a strike on Nate Colbert. Colbert, widespread, open stance. Quick throw to first, and Jeter has to dive back in. A ball and a strike. Marichal checking signs with Dixie. Again, lost the throw to first, and Jeter gets back. Juan ready, 1-1 pitch. Jeter goes. The pitch is grounded sharply to shortstop. Fire will go to first. He does, and gets him to retire this side. For San Diego in the first, no runs on one hit. No Giants errors. A runner left on at the end of an inning. The Giants nothing and the Padres nothing.
Jack Billingham will be pitching for Houston against Don Sutton of Los Angeles. As just mentioned by Bill Thompson, that Los Angeles-Houston game is just getting started. Once again, to remind you of the possibilities, San Francisco can win it in the National League West by winning this ball game against San Diego, or the Giants can win it regardless of what they do if the Los Angeles Dodgers lose to Houston. The only way a playoff will ensue is if San Francisco loses and San Francisco loses and the Dodgers win. Then there will be a one-game playoff Friday for the National League Championship, and then the National League playoffs between Pittsburgh and the winner of that playoff game will begin on the West Coast in the home ballpark of the National League winner. So things are getting a little bit serious in the National League West.
For the Giants in the top of the second, right fielder Dave Kingman hitting fifth in the order, then catcher Dick Dietz and third baseman Alan Gallagher. Kingman playing in place of Bobby Vaughn, who was out of the ball game with a pulled muscle in his rib cage. Was playing with it for a couple of weeks, severely aggravated it last night. Vaughn had a cortisone shot after the ball game last night, but unable to start tonight. Kingman, University of Southern California, a rookie, 6'6" tall, takes a fastball strike in the outside corner. Kingman batting .279 with 5 home runs, 22 RBIs. Dave playing in his 41st game with the Giants since being called up from Phoenix. Roberts pitch. Swung on and missed. Good curveball. 0-2 count. Roberts kicks and throws 0-2. High with a fastball. Ball 1. Kingman entered the ball game last night and plays the Bonds, and Bonds had to leave and single home the Giants' only run. The let up, grounded sharply to third, fielded by Justad on a good hop. His throw is low, but dug out by Colbert. Out number 1. Kingman retired for the first out, and catcher Dick Dietz will be the batter. Roger Metzger struck out to open the first inning for Houston, but Joe Morgan has walked, so the Astros have a runner on with 1 out. Here, Dick Dietz bats with 1 out and the bases empty in the second, and no score. Dietz, an average of .252, 19 home runs, 72 RBIs. Dave Roberts delivered, breaking ball, outside ball 1. Defense around to the left, the outfield deep against Dietz. Roberts delivers. Fastball, strike on the inside corner. A 1-1 count. Roberts pitches a let-up, grounded down the third baseline. Bounces away from Justad, picks it up, throws, and gets him. Justad gave that one a battle, but stayed with it. Took a tricky hop, hit him in the shoulder. He bobbled it once, but threw in time to get deep. Here we'll pause 15 seconds for station identification. This is the Golden West Radio Network.
You're listening to the San Diego Padres and the San Francisco Giants on the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
At 790 and 1420 in the Canal Zone, this is SCN Radio, an affiliate of the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
It's 10 p.m.
Average 5 home runs, 57 RBIs. Dave Roberts to the plate. Breaking ball line, foul, and the stands to the right, look out. Count on Gallagher. Infield straightaway, outfield slightly around to the right against Allen, who takes a bounding pitch just in front of the plate. Roberts drops behind on Gallagher, 2 balls and 1 strike. At Los Angeles, Morgan stole second for the Astros and went to third as Cedeno grounded out for the second out. Ground ball up the middle. Mason charging into his right. Has it. Throws across his body. Out number 3. Good play by Mason. For the Giants in the second, nothing across. No runs, no hits, no Padre errors, no runners left on it. The end of an inning and a half. The Giants nothing and the Padres nothing.
Pinch hitter Sid O'Brien broke a 1-1 tie with a 2-run single in the 8th inning to give California a 3-2 win over the Minnesota Twins and 4th place in the American League's Western Division. The two teams entered the season finale tied for 4th. O'Brien, batting for Angels starter Rudy May, grounded a single between shortstop and third to score Billy Parker and Tommy Reynolds. Parker opened the inning with a single and reached to second when Twins shortstop Steve Braun failed to touch the bag on an attempted force out on Parker's grounder. Elsewhere in the American League, it was Chicago 2-1 over Milwaukee as Bill Melton hit his 33rd home run of the season to win the American League Home Run Championship. He had been tied with Reggie Jackson and Norm Cash, but they had both completed their season on Wednesday. So with one more shot on Thursday, Melton hit his 3rd home run in 2 games, and as a result, has won that American League Home Run Championship.
San Diego in the bottom of the second. The 5, 6, and 7 spots in the order. Right fielder Ollie Brown, left fielder Larry Stahl, and catcher Bob Barton. Brown, right-handed batter, an average of 274, 9 home runs, 55 RBI. Houston has been retired in the first inning at Los Angeles as Bob Watson grounded out for the final out. Juan Marichal checking signs with Dick Deep. Juan comes over the top. High bounder to third base. Gallagher on a first hop. Had trouble with the lights. Throws out number 1. Here at San Diego, ball hits the third base and shortstop in the left field. A high bouncing ball or a line drive can get lost in the lights very easily, and Gallagher had a problem with that one, but made his play to get Brown for the first out. Here's the left fielder Larry Stahl, a left-handed batter. Stahl batting .259, 8 home runs, 36 RBIs. Marichal kicks and delivers a screwball in the dirt, ball 1. Marichal, fastball, then he speeds of curve, slider, and the screwball. 1-0 pitch. Again, the screwball is a called strike. Count on Larry Stahl with 1 out and the bases empty in the bottom of the second. Giants nothing, Padres nothing. Marichal into the motion. Comes over the top. Screwball popped up foul. It'll be back into the stands. Dietz comes back but will have no play. A ball and 2 strikes on Stahl. Diego been having attendance problems, as I'm sure you've read, but tonight a big crowd on hand. Marichal checking the defense, which is around to the right. The outfield deep. Juan cranks up for the 1-2 pitch. On its way. Fastball, swung on and missed, strike three. Call down on strikes for out number one. Marichal gets his first strike. For the first out in the bottom of the first. Houston did not score in the top 10. Right under batting catcher Bob Barton takes high, ball one. Two outs, bases empty. Barton batting .247, 5 home runs, 22 RBIs. Marichal foul back, strike two. Count on Barton. Giants play Bob straight away. Mason, Brown, and Barton, all former Giants. 1-1 pitch. High inside, ball two. And Marichal upset with himself for missing in that spot with that pitch. Barton, a good high ball fastball hitter. 2-1 count. Marichal over the top. Drive to center field. Mays should have it. Willie almost in his tracks. Waits, makes the catch on the side, retired. For San Diego in a second. No runs, no hits. No Giant errors, no runners left on. At the end of 2 full, the Giants nothing and the Padres nothing.
Detroit Tigers outfielder Willie Horton says he's quitting baseball. Horton made the statement after the Tigers wound up the season with a 2-1 loss to Cleveland on Wednesday. Horton says, "I'm just tired of bleeding. I'm human. I bleed just like everyone else." The slugging outfielder has been in and out of manager Billy Martin's doghouse all season. He was lifted in the 5th inning on Wednesday when he failed to hustle on a ground out. But Horton says his problems with Martin have nothing to do with his decision to call it quits. He says he will inform general manager Jim Campbell of his decision. Baseball was in the conversation on Capitol Hill Thursday, but it wasn't so much about the pennant races as the problem of movable franchises. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Emanuel Seller and Senator Sam Ervin have introduced legislation to revoke the antitrust exemption for professional baseball and football. Seller, a New York Democrat, is considering holding hearings on the entire structure of professional sports.
Top of inning number 3. The word comes that the Dodgers are retired in the first inning at Los Angeles. So Houston and Los Angeles, no score at the end of an inning. Don Sutton pitching for the Dodgers, Jack Bellingham for Houston. Here, there's no score going to the third. Chris Spire, the Giants shortstop, will lead off. Spire batting .234, 8 home runs, 46 RBIs. Chris, the rookie, 21 years old. Played in more games than any other Giant. Chris making his 157th appearance. This the 162nd game. Robert's curve is high, ball one. A 1-ball, no strike count on Chris Spire. Roberts back to the plate. Gets inside corner with a slider for a strike. A 1-1 count. Spire backs away. Now moves back in. Roberts delivers 1-1. A let-up. Low. Ball two. Close pitch. Roberts with a straight change. The 2-1 pitch. Grounded sharply to third. Fielded on one hop by Justad. His throw is in plenty of time for out number 1. Batter pitcher Juan Marichal, who has 14 hits on the year, 102 times at bat, has driven in 9 runs. He's hit a couple of home runs. Marichal being booed by the Dodger fans bats as he pitches right-handed. Left-hander Dave Roberts kicks him towards a fastball and swung on and missed, strike one. The on-deck circle for the Giants, the left fielder and leadoff man Ken Henderson. Roberts to the plate, 0-1. Curve is high, 1-1 count. Pitch on its way. Line foul down the left field line. Back into the lower seat. Roberts. A high breaking pitch. Marichal jumped on it but pulled it foul. The 1-2 pitch on its way. Popped up foul out of play. Back into the stands. Directly behind the plate. Los Angeles, Jim Wynn struck out for the first out in inning number 2 for Houston. Roberts checking Bob Barton for a sign. Now kicks and throws 1-2. Let up, swung on and missed, strike 3. Roberts gets his first strikeout. Giants have 2 out in the third, and Ken Henderson will be the batter. Up for his second time, flied to center in inning number 1. Batting right-handed against the left-hander. Roberts to the plate. Foul on the ground and back of the plate, strike 1. Henderson out of and then back into the batter's box. Turns his attention to Roberts. 0-1 pitch. Curve hit high in the air to left field. Back by the warning track is Larry Stahl waiting. He's got it, and the side is retired. Well, the Giants, for the second straight inning, go 1-2-3. And at the end of 2 1/2, the Giants nothing, the Padres nothing.
American League divisional winners, Baltimore and Oakland, have completed their regular season. Their best-of-5 playoff for the league pennant begins Saturday in Baltimore. The A's flew to Baltimore on Thursday while the Orioles played an inter-squad game. Manager Earl Weaver said the purpose of the game was to keep everybody loose. The Orioles didn't talk much about the A's, and Weaver was avoiding all the verbal gymnastics. He said, the Orioles will show up. That's all. There's no doubt about one thing, however, and that's the condition of the field at Baltimore's Memorial Stadium. The turf came out the loser after a couple of Colts football games in the rain the last 2 Sundays. Veteran third baseman Brooks Robinson calls the field, in a word, awful. He says he'd like to say everything will be okay for the playoffs, but if he said it, he wouldn't believe it. The head groundskeeper, Pat Santorini, directed a crew of 24 men who worked for 48 straight hours to get the field in shape for Tuesday's doubleheader against Boston. Asked if the field will be ready for the playoffs, he says it'll be ready for something.
For San Diego in inning number 3, Tommy Dean, the shortstop, will lead up. Dean playing in place of injured Enzo Hernandez, who has a bad knee. Dean batting 119. Had a big base hit for San Diego last night. He singled to lead off the 10th inning. Los Angeles, top of the second. First 2 Astros have been retired. Dennis Minky now the batter. Dean, right-handed batter. Juan Marichal comes over the top of fastball, a called strike in the outside corner. The 0-1 pitch on its way. Breaking ball a bit too low. 1-1 count. Gallagher plays even the bag at third. Minky flied out for the third out for Houston at Los Angeles. Fastball grounded to the left is Fire. Chris scoops goes to first, out number 1. A roller, sharply hit. Fire going to his left, came up with it. Cut down Dean for the first out. Willie McCovey was throwing the ball around the infield. He threw it out in center field. Get the reaction from the fans. Dave Roberts, the San Diego pitcher, will be the batter. And Roberts is a good hitting pitcher. Has 19 hits and 84 times at bat. 226 average. Roberts, a left-handed batter. Giants playing just about straight away in the outfield. Mays shaded a bit in the left center. Kingman gives him most of the right field line. Marichal pitch. Through ball. It's a called strike in the inside corner as Roberts backs away and took the pitch that was breaking away from him. The 0-1 pitch. Curve grounded sharply to first base. Scooped by McCovey. Runs to the bag. Out number 2. Roberts grounds to McCovey for the second out. The Padres go back to the top of the order to second baseman Don Mason. Mason, left-handed batting second baseman, lined to center field in the first inning. Gallagher on the grass at third. Marichal's first pitch. A curve is a strike. Slow curveball. Giants shade Mason a bit to the left. Marichal's pitch. Through ball. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. The Giants missed a run in the first when Valenti's doubled. McCovey single, but Valenti's was thrown out at the plate. The 0-2 pitch. Foul back into the seat. Count holds at 0-2. Bottom of the third. 2 outs, the base is empty. Giants nothing, Padres nothing. The 0-2 pitch. Screw ball. Swung on and missed it. Or did he check in time? He did not check in time. Chris Belacutis gets the word from the third base umpire, Shag Crawford. Mason strikes out. Marichal's second strikeout. For San Diego in the third, no runs, no hits, no diners, no runners left. The end of 3 full. The Giants nothing and the Padres nothing.
Okay, it's San Diego and San Francisco. Still no score in this baseball game. Not too much excitement here, but a tremendous amount of excitement at Robert F. Kennedy Stadium in Washington. Del Burnett of AFRTS Sports was there and has just returned. In case you missed all the action out there, that ball game was forfeited to the New York Yankees after Washington had led it 7-5 in the top of the 9th inning. What happened out there, Del?
Well, Ken, it was a gay week, I might say, out there. Things are going along pretty well. Frank Howard got a home run. They had 3 standing ovations for him. Back in the 6th inning, a line shot to left. And then in the 7th inning, 4 or 5 kids came out of the field to shake hands with their favorite players, the Washington team in the outfield, in the field. And then the next inning, about 50 or 60 came out. That held the ball game up while the players went back to the dugouts. The umpires congregated around home plate. An announcement was made next time that people came out of the field to stop the game or hold the game up would be a forfeit. So then with 2 outs in the top half of the 9th inning with the Senators ahead 7-5, with 2 away, Horace Clark coming up, about 500 came onto the field. They broke the lights out at on the scoreboard. They stole first, second, and third, and working on home plate and the pitching rubber when they finally, they haven't restored order yet. There's still people out on the field now, I imagine.
Well, Del, you know, one question comes to mind. There was a lot of dissent among the fans that Short removed the club from Washington. Would you say that the mood of the fans was festive, or were they aggravated, or just what was the mood of the crowd?
Well, it was festive at the beginning. A lot of people came out early to get autographs and pictures of their favorite players, and everybody got almost a standing ovation, the Washington players that came up. But then it got it got a little bit rough toward the 8th or 9th inning where they wanted looking for Bob Short, and he was probably in the safe confines at his home in Minneapolis, Minnesota. They had signs out there for Short scalp, that's for sure.
I heard Frank Howard got quite an ovation when he hit his 26th home run in the 6th inning.
Oh, like I say, it was three different times in a row they had the standing ovation, and finally he came out of the dugout, and then they really gave it to him. He had a towel in his hand, he waved, threw kisses to the crowd, and then that really brought them to their feet again.
Very good. What were your comments, Dal? Any personal reactions for yourself about the last baseball game in Washington for probably quite a while?
Well, being an old Larson fan from back in the mid-1930s, from the Griffith Stadium days and Clark Griffith to now, it was a pretty sad occasion, the fact that Washington left. But of course, after they moved to Bloomington, Minnesota, it just didn't seem like Washington Ball Club actually, though, really, Ken.
Well, Del, thank you so much for your comments. Del Burnett of AFRTS Sports, who was attending the final game of the 71-year history of the Washington Senators. At least for the moment, things are being done to try to get another ball club here, but for the time, that's what's going on at Robert F. Kennedy Stadium, as Washington led that ball game by the score of 7-5, but lost it on a forfeit when they were unable to clear the field of fans. Okay, let's get back now to San Diego Stadium. This is the top of the fourth inning. Tito Fuentes has led off the fourth with a single to left field, and the batter now is Willie Mays.
Willie Mays now fouled out his first time with 20 at second. Now Willie batting with Tito at first. Takes high for a ball, 1-0. Delivers to Mays. Swung on, fly ball to deep center. Going back is Jeter. Still going. And it's off the wall. Fuentes is around third. He's heading for the plate. Mays is holding a second with a double, and Tito scores as Mays hit it 420 feet to center field. One last night that came within about 5 feet of the wall that Jeter caught. This one was off the wall. Jeter turned his back, raced towards the wall, but he couldn't get to it, and Fuentes comes in to score. The Giants draw first blood as they lead 1-0. And now Willie McCovey, who singled to right his first time, will be the batter. Giants in front 1-0. Nobody out. Mays at second base. Pitch to McCovey. Fouled away. He had a pitch to hit, fouled it off, strike one. Roberts tried to jam him with a fastball. Giants won, the Padres nothing. The Giants with 4 hits. Mays drilling that one off the center field fence 400 feet to 420 feet away from home plate. 330 down the line, 370 up the power alley. Line drive to center field. Jeter will make the catch, and Mays, had gone halfway, goes back to second. That ball was hit hard, but at the center fielder. One man down, and Dave Kingman will be the batter. Steve Arlen starts throwing in the Padre bullpen. Number 45. McCovey's drive could not move Mays to third. Willie, taking a big lead, may try to steal third. Now Mason bluffed in behind him. Pitch to Dave Kingman. He checks and takes a breaking pitch low for a ball. 1-0. Kingman grounded to third his first time. Mays could not move up to third base on McCovey's drive, where a fly ball could score it. Now it's going to have to take better than a fly ball. Houston has a runner at second and one out. A throw to second base, and Mays flies back in. Had that throw been a good throw, and by a good throw I mean down by the bag, Mays was going to be out. But it was up high, and Mason could not put the tag on Mays as he slid into second. 1-0 count to Kingman. Mays with a big lead again. Fouled at the plate by Kingman, and it's 1-1. Mays trying to get a big lead because already in this game, 20 has been thrown out at the plate by Ollie Brown on a single to right. So Mays wanting to get the extra step or two. Houston has 2 men down and a runner at third in the third inning. Mays is running and swinging a drive to left field deep. That one is going back, and you can tell it goodbye. Dave Kingman hit the home run. Rookie Dave Kingman in the game on a pass because Bobby Bonds had the pulled muscle in his side. Nearly hit one out in the 10th inning of last night's game. Here in the 4th inning, he hits one into the left field seats from the Giants lead 3-0. Dick Dietz will be the batter. Roberts pitch to Dietz is low for a ball, 1-0. 20 singles, Mays doubled, McCovey lined out. Kingman has homered. For the rookie, Dave Kingman. That home run, his 6th of the year. Outside to Dietz for ball 2. Dave Kingman crashes one into the left field seat. We had to wait because Kingman hit that one high as he did the ball last night. Watch Larry Stahl. When he turned to look at the wall, you knew that it was either going to kiss off the wall or be in the seat. Dietz flashes it foul past third base. And it's a 2-1 count. Houston is out in the 3rd without scoring. So it goes to the bottom of the 3rd. 0-0. Press box as the pitch is up high to Dietz, 2-1, is that was the first home run of Dave Roberts in 56 innings. Kirby came into the game last night not having allowing 2 home runs in 103 innings. Dietz swings his foul pitch to Martin Pennant. A 3-2 count. Now Dietz wants the fine tar rag from the on-deck circle. The outfield playing back deep for Dietz also. Dietz wearing a Cochise bandage on his head because of 11 stitches placed in his head when he was hit by Jack Billingham of Houston, the pitcher who's working tonight against the Dodgers. Dietz lines with the center field for a base hit. Dietz with a single to center. The Giants taking kicks on Roberts in this spot. Dietz at first with the 6th hit for the Giants. Preston Gomez comes out of the dugout, and that may be all. It is Steve Arlen, the hard-throwing right-hander from Ohio State, will be given the call to come in. Arlen, who promises to be another fine right-hander in the Padres scheme of things, along with Clay Kirby. Roberts gets a hand. In defense of Roberts, he came off a 9-inning performance last Friday in which he hurt his back. He took a cortisone shot 2 days ago and tried it tonight, and whether it was the back or not, he has allowed 3 runs and 6 hits to the Giants in the 3 1/3 innings that he has worked. Right now, let's pause 15 seconds for station identification. This is the Golden West Radio Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
In service for you, this is SCN Radio, 790 and 1420 in the Canal Zone.
Steve Arlen, a dentist, besides being a fine pitcher, is 9-19 this year, despite the 19 losses. Buzzy Bavasi, the president of the Dodgers, says he might be the top pitcher on the staff. And that's saying something when you have Roberts and Kirby. And he wasn't taking anything away from Roberts and Kirby when he said that. But Arlen, only problem, really, is the fact that occasionally he is wild. And that happened in San Francisco when he had difficulties getting the ball over the plate, and the Giants beat him in the last meeting between the Padres and Giants up there. Weaver has opened the Dodgers third with a single. That one is 0-0. Stephen Ralph Harlan, who is just 25 years old, lives in Columbus, Ohio. Number 10. A right-hander who can throw hard, has a good slider. Will face Alan Gallagher with Dietz at first. The Giants have 4 hits in the inning, and the only man retired was McCovey on a line drive to center. Giants 3-0 in front. We're on the top of the fourth with 1 out and 1 on. Pitch to Gallagher. Grounded slowly toward third. Jestad charges. Will have to go to first. His flip throw in time. Gallagher retired as Dietz goes to second base. Jestad making a good play, having charged that ball towards the mound. And with 2 men down, Chris Fire will be the batter. Robert going 3 and a third inning. Stretched for 6 hits. 3 runs, responsible for Dietz, who was on there. He struck out 1 man. He didn't walk anybody. Bob Barton goes out to talk to Arlen. If they do not walk Fire intentionally, what he's telling Arlen in this spot is don't give him a good pitch to hit. Pitch around him. Make him go for something that he can't handle, but don't give him a good strike over the plate. The Dodgers have 2 runners on with nobody out. Bottom of the third. High fastball to Fire for ball 1. Juan Marichal on deck. Fire, the number 8 hitter. Dodgers with a threat. And the bottom of the third inning. First and second occupied. Nobody down. Pitch to Fire. Curve is low for a ball, and it's 2-0. Now Barton looks to the dugout to see if they will walk Fire, and that's what they'll do. Behind 2-0, they're not going to take a chance. They will put him on at first. Ball 3. The intentional pass is Fire, and Marichal will come to the plate. Ball 4 to Fire. Marichal, not that bad a hitter. He can help himself. He struck out his first time, but if the pitcher makes a mistake on him, he can hit it hard. The Giants lead 3-0. Have lost 1 run at the plate on Ollie Brown's throw, cutting down 20s in the first inning. Here, 20s single to open the fourth. Mays doubled him home. McCovey lined out. Dave Kingman hit a 2-run homer. Dietz singled. That's all for Roberts. Arlen comes in, gets Gallagher to ground out, has walked Fire, and now pitches to Marichal. Breaking pitch up high for a ball, 1-0. Juan ran out of there that time, but he didn't know what that pitch was going to do. Johnny McNamara, the third base coach, yelling encouragement to Marichal and keeping an eye on Dietz in second. Western, the first base coach, talking to Chris Fire. Arlen working from a stretch, the outfield to the left and medium deep. Swing and a foul back, and it's 1-1. Ball on a strike, the count to Marichal, batting in the fourth. The Giants front 3-0, out hitting the Padres 6-1. Arlen getting the sign from Bob Barton. Swing and a miss and a high breaking pitch, and it's 1-2. Ball and 2-strike count to Marichal. 2 down, 2 on for the Giants in the fourth. Sutton is out on strike trying to sacrifice on the 3rd strike. So the Dodgers have runners at first and second with 1 man down, the top of the order coming up. Marichal lines it foul down the left field line. Oh, that one would have been a beauty for the Giants. Marichal hit it hard but pulled it foul. So it stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Need all you can get in a game like this. The Giants have 3. They wish you were 30. Dietz at second. Fire at first. The stretch by Arlen. The pitch to Marichal. Struck him out on a high breaking pitch. Juan is out. The Giants 3 runs on 4 hits. No errors. 2 runners left on. We go to the bottom of the fourth, and the Giants lead it by a score of 3-0.
In the National League, Pittsburgh defeated Philadelphia by the score of 4-3. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Pirates. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Phillies. Bryles, Moose, Johnson, Miller, and Justy for Pittsburgh. Champion, Brandon, Lersch, and Wilson for Philadelphia. Champion got the win in that game. His record is 3-5. Manny Sanguillen hit his 7th home run for Pittsburgh. Willie Montanez hit his 30th for Philadelphia. A good shot at Rookie of the Year for sure with him. That one came in the 3rd with 1 on. New York and Tom Seaver knocked off the St. Louis Cardinals 6-1. Seaver won his 20th game of the season, and he'll finish the 1971 campaign with 20 wins and 10 losses. Patterson was the loser, his record 0-1. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Mets. A run 7-1 for St. Louis. New York scored once in the 5th and 5 times in the 6th. Other National League finals, Chicago 5, Montreal 3, and it was Atlanta 6-2 over Cincinnati.
At Dodger Stadium, the Dodgers have the bases loaded with 1 out. Bases loaded with 1 out. Gary Justice now to face Marichal to open up the 4th inning for the Padres. Justice, Jeter, and Colbert. Giants lead 3-0. Dodgers have 2 outs. Runner forced at the plate. 2 outs from the bases loaded. Right-hand batting Justice. Flied out his first time. Takes the strike, 0-1. Justice fly to right. Strike pitch to Justice. Fouled off the end of the bat. Strike 2. 0-2 count. 3-0. The Giants lead. Marichal going to the rosin bag has an 0-2 count to the right-hand batting third baseman Justice. Willie Davis batting with the bases loaded and 2 outs for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 3rd. Justice with an 0-2 count. Pitch is low and away for a ball, and it's 1-2. Outfield backed up straight away for Justice. He has been one of the hot hitters for the Padres. Sidearm curve is strike 3 called, and Justice gets on looking. Justice batting .350 coming to this game in the last 28 games of the season, playing third base after Spezio was hurt for the Padres. Dillingham behind 3 balls and no strikes on Willie Davis with the bases loaded and 2 down. Danger of walking in a run in that one. The Dodgers bat in the bottom of the 3rd. Jeter, who flashed a single off Gallagher's glove for the only Padre hit up here, right-hand batter. Bluffs the bunt, takes the sidearm curve outside for a ball, 1-0. Marichal throwing sidearms up to Jeter, and Jeter smacked one at Gallagher. A sidearm delivery, his first time up. 1-0 count. Juan sidearms him again. Drive to center field. Short, Kingman and Mays. They may collide. No, Kingman makes the catch up over Mays. Willie coming over there, and then Kingman called for it and made the catch for the second out. Count to Willie Davis is 3-2. The runners will be going when the bases loaded at Houston. 2 down. Colbert grounded to short his first time. Faces Marichal over the top. Curveball grounded to short. Meyer has it. His throw is in time, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on. And the Dodgers fail to score in the bottom of the 3rd as Willie Davis is out. Here at the end of 4, it's the Giants 3, the Padres nothing.
In that Chicago 5-3 win over Montreal, Ferguson Jenkins won his 24th game of the season. He finishes the 1971 year at 24-13. The Pittsburgh Pirates dropped second baseman Rennie Stennett from their eligible roster for the National League playoffs Thursday to get their squad to the 25-man limit. Stennett, who is 20, was originally recalled from Charleston, West Virginia of the International League July 10th to replace players in the military, but he stayed with the team after Jose Pagan suffered a fractured arm, and Pennant was batting .355 in 48 games and compiled an 18-game batting streak, the longest by a Pittsburgh player this year. According to manager Danny Murtaugh, it was probably the toughest decision he's had to make all season long. Murtaugh said his decision came down to a choice between Pagan and Pennant, and he chose to keep Pagan on the active roster because of his experience. He says in a short series like this, the experience can be very important.
The Giants will go to the top of their order in inning number 5. Kenny Henderson, Tito Fuentes, and Willie Mays. Henderson will bat left-handed for the first time tonight. Pitching to Henderson, who swings and fouls it off his foot. Strike one. Henderson limping around. The Giants can ill afford any further injury. Bobby Bonds out. Trainer Leo Hughes comes out to see if Henderson's all right. He's holding his knee. It might have hit him on the knee rather than on the foot. Now Hughes will go to the plate, and it is his knee, his left knee. But Henderson is flexing. Now in the batter's box. The one strike on him, flat out twice as a right-hand batter, batting left-handed. Against Arlen. Right-hander delivers high for a ball. It's 1-1. Houston has one man down in the 4th inning. At Dodger Stadium, that's 0-0 here. The Giants lead 3-0. We're in the top of the 5th. Pitch is up high for a ball. 2-1. Pitch bounded foul to the right side, and it's 2-2 to Henderson. Giants scored 3 times in the 4th. Count of 2-2 to Henderson. Arlen's 2-2 pitch. High for a ball. 2 outs for Houston. In the 4th inning at Los Angeles in that 0-0 contest. Henderson with a 3-2 count. The windup and the 3-2 pitch. High, ball 4. Arlen walks Henderson. Kenny goes to first base. The second walk issued by Arlen, the first one was intentional. Now Tito Fuentes, who doubled and singled as a right-hand batter, is up here to bat left-handed, has scored a run and been thrown out of the plate trying to score another one. Houston out in the 4th inning, so it goes to the bottom of the 4th at Los Angeles, 0-0. Henderson at first. Arlen delivers. Kenny's going. Ground ball to second base. And stepping on second is the shortstop, Dean. The throw to first, a double play. That was a base hit taken away from Fuentes because the hit and run was on. Dean went over to cover second. A sharp ground ball directly at the bag. And it turns into a double play. So the Giants' aggressiveness cost them 2 outs there as they're hitting and running on the first pitch. And the shortstop covering with the left-hand batter up there turned it into 2 outs. Willie Mays has popped up and doubled, driven in a run and scored one. Takes the high slider for a ball, 1-0. As will happen, sometimes that hit and run with the runner covered, with the infielder covering, the ball hit directly at the bag, turned it into 2 outs, and that's what happened. Mays takes the high breaking pitch, ball 2. The double play goes from 6 to 3. Giants 3, the Padres nothing. We're in the top of the 5th. 2 down, the base is empty for the Giants. 2-0 pitch to Mays. High, ball 3. behind on Mays, 3 balls and no strikes. After walking Henderson, then 20s on the hit and run, grounding into the double play. Strike call to Mays. Mays started to go to first and turns and looked at Colacutis. 3-1. 3-1 count to Mays. A 3-1 pitch to Willie. Strike 2 call. Now Arlen has things even. 3-2. Mays fouled out his first time, doubled his second time. 3-2 pitch to Willie. Fouled away, and it stays at 3-2. Richie Allen has opened the bottom of the fourth for the Dodgers with a single. Dodgers getting opportunities against Dillingham. Has beaten out a bunt single, so they're runners at first and second for the Dodgers with nobody out. First and third, first and second. Mays takes low, ball 4, breaking pitch. And he goes to first. The third walk by Arlen, the second in this inning. Mota does not get a base hit. It's an error on Edwards, the catcher, overrunning the bunt by Mota. Now Willie McCovey, and the Padres put 3 infielders to the right of second, and just as the third baseman is in a direct line of first and second, so he's 90 feet off the third baseline. So is the left fielder, Stahl. Arlen, the pitch to McCovey. Mays is running. The pitch is taken low. The throw to second. Mays steals second. And Mays is going to third, and there was nobody at third, and Jestad was standing at second base, so Mays took off and ran to third. Just as the third baseman had to take the throw from Barton at second base because he was the one playing there. When Mays was safe, Jestad standing about a foot off the bag, and Mays said, "I can outrun you," so he took off for third, and he is at third with 2 out. It's a 1-strike count on McCovey. They will walk McCovey now. McCovey will be given the intentional walk, the third walk in the inning. That stolen base. For Willie, it's his 22nd steal. That is the most stolen bases for a 40-year-old ball player since Ty Cobb had 22 back in 1927. Dave Kingman, the batter now. Kingman grounded to third and then hit a 2-run homer in the fourth off Roberts. He's up here with McCovey at first and Mays at third. Mike Horton throws in the San Diego bullpen, a right-hander. Arlen pitch to Kingman. He checks and takes a strike. Mays at third, McCovey at first, 2 down in the 5th. The Giants lead 3-0. Mays with a good-sized lead as the third baseman Jestad is playing back deep. A strike call to Kingman on a high pitch that barely got the outside corner. Nothing and 2 count to Kingman. Arlen is in front of the big right-hand batter. The 0-2 pitch. Struck him out swinging. No runs on, no hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on. And as we go to the bottom of the 5th, the score is the Giants 3 and the Padres nothing.
Chairman Emanuel Siller of New York of the House Judiciary Committee and Senator Sam Ervin, a high-ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, introduced legislation Thursday to revoke the antitrust exemption for professional baseball and football. Seller was considering holding hearings on the entire structure of professional sports, and Ervin said Senate Antitrust Subcommittee hearings, which he is conducting on the proposed merger of pro basketball teams, could be broadened to include all professional sports. In a joint statement, Seller and Ervin said, too often the sport monopolies come crying to Congress for special legislation because they feel that the health of professional sports is in the national interest. But when it comes to blacklisting and throttling player negotiations, charging high prices to fans, blacking out TV, and moving franchises at will. The sports monopolies act with the greedy single-mindedness of a child reaching for a candy jar, more and more and more. So says Chairman Emanuel Seller of New York.
Mays is credited with 2 stolen bases, going to second on the first deal and going to third on the other, so he has 23 stolen bases, which is more than Cobb had when he was 40 years old. Cobb had 22. Mays getting 2 steals on just 1 play. Brown, who grounded at third his first time. It was a 1-hopper that Gallagher lost in the light briefly, but managed to field and get Brown at first. Brown, Stahl, and Martin against Marichal in the bottom of the 5th inning. Big play in that top of the 5th inning. In fact, the Giants were hitting and running, and it turned into a double play rather than a base hit. Brown dribbles at the right side. McCovey leaves the bag. 20 fields and throws to Marichal, and Marichal can't hold the ball. McCovey tried to field that ball that was about 40 feet off the line. Why he went over there to field it, I don't know, but he did. 20 got the ball and threw to Marichal at first. Marichal was eaten up by the throw, and it was a tough play for Tito after McCovey blocked his view. And Marichal dropped the throw, and it will be an error. The Dodgers have scored a run on an infield out. Marichal is given the error for dropping the throw. Brown is safe at first base. Larry Stahl swings and misses strike 1. Nobody down. Brown at first base. McCovey really roamed way too far off first base for that one. 20 was going to have an easy play to McCovey, but it made a tough one to Marichal. Screwball outside for a ball. It's 1-1. Dodgers leading 1-0 with the inning still going on. 2 outs. Dodgers scored a run, lead Houston 1-0 in the 4th inning. Brown with his lead at first. Marichal comes to the plate to Stahl. Fly ball down the left field line. Foul out of play, and it's 1-2. Houston has walked Sims intentionally and will pitch to Don Sutton with 2 outs. On the Washington Yankee game in which Washington was forced to forfeit a game in which they were leading their final game of the season. Screwball bounded out front of the plate. Dietz has it, throws to first, and gets it. Good play by Dick Dietz. The throw to first base by Dietz as Brown moved to second. And Bob Martin will be the batter. Washington leading the Yankees 7-5. The fans came out on the field. They refused to leave the field, and finally the game had to be forfeited. So the Senators leading by a score of 7-5. They were winning 7-5. The Senators were over the Yankees, and they lose it 9-0 on a forfeit. Bob Martin flied to center his first time. 1 out, 1 on. Brown safe at second on the air. Safe at first on the air and moves to second on the infield out by Stahl. If they dribbled it out in front of the plate, Dietz had to make a good play. He had to get out there in a hurry, then make a good throw past Stahl. Pitch to Martin. A curve is a strike, 0-1. Bottom of the 5th, the Giants lead 3-0. The Dodgers settled for 1 run in the bottom of the 4th and lead Houston 1-0. Here the Giants are in front 3-0. We're in the bottom of the 5th with Brown at second base. 1 out. Marichal stretch for the 1-strike pitch to Martin. Over the top he comes. Line drive, base hit to center field. Brown will score. The error is caught as Martin singles to center. It's a 3-1 ball game. base again with the line drive single to center. Two of former Giants combining for that run, Ollie Brown and Bob Barton. Dean takes the breaking pitch outside for a ball. That is the second hit off Marichal. The Padres get their first run. Look at first. Marichal's pitch. Grounded to shortstop. Should be two. Fired to 20s for one. The throw to first. Double play. One run. One hit. One error. No one left on. We have completed 5. It's the Giants 3 and the Padres 1.
Taking a look at the scoreboard in the National League, Pittsburgh defeated Philadelphia 4-3, champion the winner in that ball game, his third win against 5 losses. Sanguian hit his 7th home run for Pittsburgh. Montanez hit his 30th for Philadelphia. Tom Seaver won his 20th game as the New York Mets dropped the St. Louis Cardinals 6-1. 6 runs, 8 hits, and no errors for New York. A run, 7 and 1 for St. Louis. Patterson, the loser, 0-1. 43,000 fans to watch the New York Mets wind up the 1971 season at New York. Ferguson Jenkins won his 24th game of the season as Chicago outscored Montreal 5-3. The Cubs came up with 3 runs in the top half of the 9th inning and then held Montreal to just a run in the bottom of the 9th to take that 5-3 margin. Stolman was the losing pitcher. His record is 17-16. Atlanta dumped Cincinnati 6-2. House, the winner, 1-0, and Wilcox, the loser, his record is 2-2. Perez hit his 25th for Cincinnati.
The Giants will face Steve Arlen in the 6th with Dick Dietz, Alan Gallagher, and Chris Myers. Giants lose a run to the Padres as McCovey makes a mistake in judgment going for that ground ball by Brown. Similar play in Cincinnati, and Marichal was almost wiped out. Willie Mays crashed into it on a play like that at Cincinnati, and Marichal came up with a bruised hip but is able to pitch tonight. Al Severinsen throws in the bullpen, a right-hander for the Padres. Dick Dietz has grounded out and singled. His base hit was the last off Roberts as Roberts left the game and Arlen came in. Arlen has not given up a hit. He has walked 4 men. And he's struck out 2. That 4 walks is count in an inning and 2/3. Pitch to Dietz. He lays off a high fastball for ball 1. Dietz, Gallagher, and Fires. Top of the 6th inning, 3-1. The Giants in front. Arlen pitch. Dietz takes the curve for a strike. 1-1. Giants cannot afford to sit on this 3-1 lead. They had 3-0 lead. An error cost them a run. Now they're going to have to try to get some more. The 1-1 pitch. High for ball 2. It's 2-1. Arlen has given indication of wildness. As we say, 4 walks. 1 of them intentional. 2 of them intentional. McCovey was walked intentionally after Mays stole 2nd and 3rd. 2-1 pitch. Dietz takes a fastball that's good for strike 2, 2-2. That one just in the strike zone, a high fastball. Houston had 2 men down in the top of the 5th inning. The Dodgers lead 1-0. Dietz swings and misses. He's out on strike. Arlen gets his 3rd strikeout. Dick Kelly, a left-hander, and Severinsen, a right-hander, throwing in the bullpen for the Padres. Now Alan Gallagher, who has grounded out twice, is the batter. Al Lanier has loosened up in the Giant bullpen. This might be Alan Gallagher's last appearance at the plate tonight. Takes low for a ball, 1-0. In the 6th inning, 3-1, the Giants lead. Giants scored 3 times in the 4th. Single by 20s, a double by Mays, and a 2-run homer by Kingman. Breaking pitch gets the inside corner. It's 1-1. Gallagher turns and questions Palacuti. That was a high breaking pitch. Arlen's getting his breaking serves up, but so far the Giants haven't been able to tag any. Strong right-hander delivers 1-1. A swing and a miss, strike 2. Gallagher took about a half swing at that pitch as he was fooled on a fastball. That It's a count of a ball and 2 strikes. Outfield gives him left center field. 1-2 pitch by Arlen. Low for 2-2. Giants 3, the Padres 1. At Dodger Stadium, it's the Dodgers 1 and Houston nothing. Giants and Padres in the top of the 6th. The Dodgers and Houston in the top of the 5th. Strike 3 call. Gallagher out on strike. Arlen gets his 4th strikeout. We'll pause for station identification. This is the Golden West Radio Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Takes the strike, 0-1. Arlen has retired the last 3 men he's faced on strikeouts. Kingman, Dietz, and Gallagher. And he has a 1 strike count on Spire. 3-1, the Giants lead in the top of the 6th. Blowing away for a ball. Vince Scully telling a story about Don Sutton, the Dodgers starting pitcher today, that he went to pitching coach Red Adams' house with his hand wrapped in bandages this afternoon. Said, I can't pitch tonight, I've burned my hand. Ground ball to shortstop. Dean to his left has it. His throw is in time. The Giants are retired in the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left off. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and the Giants lead 3-1. Manager Preston Gomez is going to his bench. He will pinch hit for Steve Arlen. And Rod Gaspar, a left-hand batter, is the man who will do the pinch batting. A 125 batting average for Gaspar. Left-hand batter against Marichal. Then the top of the order. Giants lead 3-1. Mike Horton, the right-hander, throwing in the bullpen now for San Diego, so we'll have to wait and see which pitcher will come in. Hal Lanier has gone in defensively for the Giants. He's in at third base. Rod Gaspar, who is with the Mets, up here as a pinch batter, open stance, left-hand batter, choked up on the bat. Marichal delivers to Gaspar. He swings and misses strike 1. Houston retired in the 5th inning. Go to the bottom of the 5th at Dodger Stadium, and Los Angeles leads 1-0. The Giants lead 3-1 here. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Gaspar batting against Marichal. Fouls it back, strike 2. 0-2 count. Marichal giving him 2 screwballs, and Gaspar missed the first one. Fouled the second one off. An error cost the Giants a run in the 5th inning. It was Marichal there as he dropped to throw, but it was McCully who put him under pressure by leaving first base. Fastball outside for a ball, 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes. The count to the pinch batter, Rod Gaspar. The outfield, medium deep, and playing about straight away. Juan winds, the 1-2 pitch. A screwball just outside. Boy, that couldn't have missed by much, and it's 2-2. 2-strike count to Gaspar. And Juan's 2-2 effort. Fly ball to short center. Mays is going to have to hurry. He's there and makes the catch for out number 1. Soft fly ball to short center, and Mays had to scamper in to make the catch. With 1 down, Don Mason, who was lined out and struck out, will be the batter. Giants 3 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. It was a big one. It cost a run. The Padres 1 run on 2 hits. The error on Ollie Brown's ground ball on the one of the base hits. An RBI single by Bob Barton, both former Giants. Marichal pitch to Mason, punted down the third base side. Lanier bare-hands it and will not be able to make a play. Mason Mason lays down a perfect bunt down the third base side. Lanier was going to try to bare hand throw to first. He tripped as he fielded the ball. I don't believe he was going to get Mason anyway. So it goes as a base hit for Mason as he bunts for a single. And with one out, the Padres have one on. And Gary Jestad, who has flied out and struck out, is the batter. Lanier right at the bag at third. The outfield medium deep again. Mason with his lead. The pitch to Jestad outside for a ball. 1-0. Giants have one double play. And they're hoping for another one here before the big sluggers and the Padre order come up. Throw to first. Mason gets back in. It was a lob throw by Marichal. Over at first, Mason. With one out. Juan takes the stretch. Quick throw, and Mason gets back in. At first, Mason bluffing over the top. Jestad grounds it to shortstop, maybe too slow for the double play. Fire has to go to first and does in time to get Jestad. Fire went to first to get Jestad as it was too slow to get Mason at second. And Fire gets the one sure out, and Jeter now will be the batter. He has drilled a single off Gallagher's glove at third, then flied to right field. Dodgers have one man out, nobody on at the bottom of the fifth. Here the Giants lead 3-1. The Padres have a runner at second, and the right-hand batting John Jeter up here. Is 1 for 2 against Marichal. The outfield deep. Lanier half step behind the third base bag and close to the line. The rest of the infield backed up. Marichal stretches over the top. Swung on a line drive to center. Mays will be there. He is. He makes the catch, and the side is retired. The ball hit hard, but Mays was able to get to it. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a runner left on. After 6, the score, the Giants 3 and the Padres 1. Corkins, the new pitcher for San Diego. Corkins, a right-hander, another former Giant, although Corkins never pitched in the major league with the Giants, was drafted by San Diego in the expansion draft from one of the Giant farm clubs. Corkins spent season in the minor leagues, making his 8th appearance since rejoining the Padres. Pitched just 11 innings rather, giving up 12 hits, 5 earned runs. The end of 5 in Los Angeles, the Dodgers lead the Astros 1-0. 7 for the Giants. Pitcher Juan Marichal will lead off. And the top of the order, left fielder Kenny Henderson and second baseman Tito Fuentes. Mike Corkins, who grew up in Riverside, lifelong friend of the Giants' Bobby Bonds. In the 6th inning at Los Angeles, Houston batters against Don Sutton will be the top of the order. Shortstop Roger Metzger, second baseman Joe Morgan, and center fielder Cesar Cedeno. Marichal, 0 for 2, struck out twice in the 3rd and 4th innings. Corkins doesn't like the baseball. And we'll get another one from Chris Balakutis. Marichal moves in to lead it off. The Giant bullpen will get busy. Jim Barr and Don Carruthers, pair of right-handers throwing in the right field corner. Corkins first pitch to Marichal. Fastball is a call strike on the inside corner. 0-1. Back to the plate 0-1. Breaking pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Marichal twisting his neck around at home plate as if he charged something out of place a bit with that swing. Now Juan moves back in the batter's box. 0-2 count. Corkins into the motion. The 0-2 pitch on its way. Breaking ball outside. Ball 1. Top of the 7th. Giants 3, Padres 1. 1-2 pitch. Struck him out swinging on a curve. Horton took the ball on the dirt and tagged Marichal at the plate. Steve Arlen did a good job for San Diego while he was in the ball game, taking over in the 4th inning. Pitching 2 2/3 innings, giving the Giants no runs. And no hits. Struck out 4 and walked 4. Kenny Henderson flied to center in the 1st, flied to left in the 3rd, drew a walk in the 5th. Breaking pitch for a strike. Los Angeles, Houston has 2 men out in the 6th. The base is empty. The Dodgers lead there 1-0. Corkins kicking at the dirt from the pitching rubbers. Now is satisfied with the toe hold. The 0-1 pitch to Henderson. Swung on and missed. Good fastball. Strike 2. Count on Henderson. Corkins kicks and throws. High with a fastball, ball 1. San Diego defense around to the right in the outfield. The infield more straight away. Corkins 1-2 pitch. Struck him out on a fastball. Horton comes on to strike out 2 in a row, and Tito Fuentes will be the Giants batter. Fuentes doubled in the 1st inning, singled and scored a run in the 4th, grounded into a double play in the 5th. Cedeno has doubled for Houston with 2 outs in the 6th inning. Corkins sets and fires a fastball, strike. 0-1 count. Corkins in the motion. The 0-1 pitch. High bounder up the middle. Dean charging. The shortstop has it, throws, and can't get him. Fuentes beats it out. Tito gets his 3rd hit. A high chopper over the mound, fielded by Dean in front of second base. His throw too late to get Fuentes. Giants have their 7th hit. Willie Mays will be the batter. Mays fouled out in the 1st inning. Doubled to drive in a run in the 4th. Walked in the 5th. It was off Mike Corkins that Mays hit his 600th career home run here in San Diego Stadium 2 years ago. Bob Watson has singled home Cesar Cedeno. The Astros and Dodgers are tied 1-1 in the 6th. Breaking ball, low and away, a good save by Barton. A 1-ball, no strike count on Mays. Crowd here reacting to the score from Los Angeles. Waiting, Corkins set, lobs the throw to first, really lobbed the ball over there. Breaking pitch low, ball 2. Corkins behind on Mays, 2 balls and no strikes. Set. The pitch to Mays. Foul away to the right. Strike 1. Corkins in on the count at 2-1. Corkins walking around in back of the pitching rubber. Now stands back on. Fuentes starts to lead away from first. Deal with a short lead. Perkins looking, throwing. Ball, strike two. Fastball just above the knees on the inside part of the plate. Perkins and Mays go to a count of 2-2. Struck out to end the Houston sixth, but the Astros have tied up the Dodgers 1-1. Curve is called, strike three. Mays called out on strikes. Horton strikes out the side. Along the way, the Giants come up with no runs on one hit. No errors, one runner left on. We go to the bottom of the seventh, and the Giants lead it 3-1. Well, the seventh for San Diego. First baseman Nate Colbert hitting fourth, and the order will lead it off. And right fielder Ollie Brown and left fielder Larry Stahl. Grounded to short in the first, did the same thing in the fourth. Marichal is back to home plate. Adjusting his cap, now goes to the rosin bag. Don McMahon and Jerry Johnson throwing a Giant bullpen. Marichal comes over the top. Breaking pitch, a bit too low, ball one. A 1-0 count on Nate Colbert. Marichal back to the plate again over the top. Breaking pitch for a strike in the outside corner. A 1-1 count on Colbert, leading off the Padres seventh. Outfield very deep and way around to the left. Slider misses, low, ball two. Marichal drops behind on Colbert, 2 balls and 1 strike. Juan into the motion, comes over the top. Pop up, foul off first. McCovey racing over, but this will be out of his reach. Little low pop up. McCovey could not get to it. It dropped at the base of the stand. Goes just as strike two. Marichal doing some groundskeeping in front of the pitching rubber. Now Juan kicks high, comes over the top. Swing and a miss on a curve. Strike three. Colbert down on strikes for out number 1. Marichal gets strikeout number 4. Brown got it to third in the second, was safe on an error, and scored the Padre run in the fifth. Brown, ball, slender, right-handed batter. Marichal's first pitch volley. Breaking ball low and away, ball 1. A 1-0 pitch, sidearm, fastball, low, ball 2. Marichal dropped behind the first 2 batters in the inning. Got behind Colbert, 2-1. Now drops behind Brown, 2-0. 2-0 pitch on its way. Brown belts it past Marichal, but Fuentes has it. Throws to McCovey, out number 2. Brown hit a ground shot to the right of the mound, but Fuentes moving to his right. Made the play for the second out. The left fielder, Larry Stahl, will be the batter. Struck out in the second inning. Was thrown out by Deeks on a dribbler in front of the plate in the fifth. Dodgers batting in the bottom of the sixth have 1 out. Bases empty, a 3-2 count on Manny Mota. That one tied up 1-1 at Dodger Stadium. First pitch to Stahl. The screwball, low, ball 1. Stahl struck out in the second inning. Oh, we said that, didn't we? Bounced out in the fifth. Mota has walked for the Dodgers. A 1-0 pitch to Stahl. Swung on and missed. A good screwball by Marichal. Pitch. Again, the screwball swung on and missed. Strike two. Ball on 2 strikes on Stahl. Infield and outfield, slightly around to the right against the left-handed batter. Marichal kicks high. Again, the screwball grounded to the right side. Fuentes to his left has it, throws to McCovey. Out number 3. San Diego 7. No runs, no hits, no Giant errors, no runners left. At the end of 7 full, the Giants 3 and the Padres 1. Diego Stadium. For the Giants, first baseman Willie McCovey hitting 4th unit to lead it off in the right fielder Dave Kingman and catcher Dick Deep. Bob Barton throws to second base. The ball around the Padre infield, and McCovey moves in. McCovey single to right in the first inning, line to center in the 4th to an intentional walk in the 5th. Padres put the 3 infielders on the right side. Chestnut, the third baseman, is over almost to second base at the edge of the outfield grass. McCovey swings at a curve and misses strike 1. Mike Corkins, third pitcher for San Diego. Count on McCovey. Corkins checking signs with Barton. Kicks and throws. Drive to right field. It's in for a base hit in front of Ollie Brown. McCovey drills one into right field for his second hit. The Giants meet.
Number 45.
And Dave Kingman was grounded to third in the second, hit a 2-run homer in the 4th, and struck out on the 5th will be the Giants batter. Mason, the second baseman, running in to talk to Corkins. Doubtful that the Giants would bunt with Kingman at the plate. Might have Kingman bunt in some situations, but with McCovey at first base, McCovey with the bad wheels, it's almost impossible to move him up on a bunt. Corkins pitched to Kingman. Low and away, a good save by Barton, almost a wild pitch. Barton darting out from behind the plate to his right to backhand that ball. That would have moved McCovey to second base. Padres play the infield double play deep. The infield around to the left and deep. Breaking pitch fouled at the plate. Los Angeles, the Dodgers have 2 outs. Willie Crawford has struck out with Moda at first base. They're tied up 1-1 in the 6th. Kingman with a countable ball on his strike. McCovey short lead at first. Colbert playing off the bag. Corkins delivers. Breaking ball outside, ball 2. Moda is still on second base for the Dodgers. The Los Angeles has Moda at second with 2 outs. The Kingman is fouled at the plate off Barton's shin guard. Rolls down along the first baseline where one of the ball boys retrieves it. Jim Lefevre is the Dodger batter. Corkins goes to the rosin bag. San Diego bullpen is busy. McCovey leaves away from first. Corkins sets at the belt. 2-2 pitch to Kingman. Check swing. Did he check in time? The umpires. And Lee Wire, the first base umpire, says Kingman went through with a swing, and Kingman is really upset. Kingman strikes out. Check swing. Dick Deaton goes up to hustle Kingman away from the the plate where he was yelling down at Wire, the first base umpire, who made the call. Dodgers have been retired in the sixth. A 1-1 ball game going to inning number 7. Dick Deeds grounded to third in the second, single to center in the fourth, struck out in the sixth. Breaking ball inside, ball 1. Left-hander Dick Kelly, right-hander Al Severinsen throwing the bullpen for San Diego. McCovey will lead at first. 1-0 pitch to Deeds. Popped up foul off first base. Colbert coming over. It'll be back into the stands. A 1-1 count. McCovey at first with 1 out in the top of the 8th. The Giants lead 3-1. Goes to the rosin bag. Steps back on the rubber to look to Barton for a sign. Chevy with his lead. 1-1 pitch. Low. Ball 2. Perkins drops behind on Deeds. 2 balls and 1 strike. Chevy with a lead. Much of the lead. 2-1 pitch to Deeds. 1-1 and miss, strike 2. Deeds gets the fine car cloth from the on-deck better Hal Lanier. Now Deeds back in the batter's box. A count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. Drilled foul to the right. Soft liner up to the right. Bounced off the lower stand. Deeds again goes over the batter. Might have broken his back. Apparently did. He gets a new one. At Los Angeles, that score tied 1-1 at the end of 6. Jesus Ballou leads off for the Astros in the 7th inning. Colbert playing well off the bag at first. Now moves in a couple of steps. Still playing off the bag. Pitch to Deeds. Outside, ball 3. Full count on Deeds. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch. Ball, strike 3, and Deeds is upset at the call by Chris Belacutis. We pause for station identification. This is the Golden West Radio Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
This is SCN Radio, the voice of information in the Canal Zone, at 790 and 1420.
Mike Corkin recorded 5 outs since coming into the ballgame to take over in the 7th, and all 5 have been strikeouts. First pitch to Hal Lanier, batting for his first time as a fastball strike in the outside corner. Lanier batting .234. McCovey at first, 2 outs. Giants lead 3-1. Curvis swung on a miss, strike 2. Corkins off the pitching mound to rub up the baseball. Lanier waving the bat back and forth. McCovey wandering off first base. Pitch for Lanier. High inside, ball 1. Astros have 2 outs in the 7th inning at Los Angeles. Pop up into right field. Ollie Brown moving towards right center. Easy play for Ollie. He's got it, and the side is retired. For the the Giants in the eighth. No runs on one hit. A leadoff single by McCovey. No Padres errors. A runner left. We go to the bottom of the eighth, and the Giants lead it 3-1. Bottom of the eighth. For San Diego, the tail end of the order, catcher Bob Barton, shortstop Tommy Dean, and the pitching spot, Mike Horton, due to bat third. Barton flied to center in the second inning, singled to center in the fifth to drive in the San Diego run. Terry Johnson, Don McMahon throwing the Giants bullpen in the right field corner. At Los Angeles, Johnny Edwards has doubled for Houston with 2 outs in the seventh. Juan Marichal cranks up, comes to the plate. Slider misses, ball one. Marichal shakes his head at Pellicudis' call. Pitch on its way. Breaking ball, grounded wide of third. Fielded by Spire. A long throw. Not in time. And the Giants don't like that call at all. Bob Barton beats out an infield hit as Chris Spire's long throw from deep shortstop was not in time. Los Angeles, Jack Billingham struck out for the final out. The seventh inning, that score remains tied at 1-1. Barton gets his second hit, the fourth for San Diego, and Tommy Dean, the shortstop, will be the batter. Dean grounded to short, got it into a double play, started by the shortstop in the fifth. Dean, a right-handed batter. Nobody in the on-deck circle, a pitcher due to bat next. Marichal's pitch. Breaking ball just outside, ball one. Choking up on the bat. Barton is short lead at first. Marichal's pitch. Grounded to short. Fire goes to Tito for one. To throw to McCovey. They double him up again. Dean bounces into the double play to wipe the bases clean. The first 2 outs in the eighth. Manager Preston Gomez will go to the bench. Ivan Morrell will be a pinch batter. Morrell, a right-handed batter, batting .236. 7 home runs, 24 RBIs. Morrell now making his way up to the plate, throws the bat weight away. Dodger Stadium, a fair crowd on hand, 52,684. Breaking pitch is a call strike to Morrell. Juan Marichal's 0-1 pitch to the pinch batter Morrell. It's popped foul into the seats to the right, strike 2. Back of the pitching rubber. Now goes to the rosin bag. McMahon and Johnson continue to throw in the bullpen. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Morrell strikes out for out number 3. Marichal gets his 5th strikeout. For San Diego in the 8th, no runs on 1 hit. No Giant errors. No runners left on. The end of 8 full. Giants 3 and the Padres 1. On for the Padres. For Severinsen, his 59th appearance of the year. Has 2 wins, 5 losses, 8 saves, an earned run record of 3.26. Los Angeles, 1 out in the bottom of the 7th as Duke Sims is grounded out. That score tied 1-1. Giants and Dodgers go down to the wire. Severinsen. In the Giant ninth, it'll be shortstop Chris Spire to lead off, then pitcher Juan Marichal, and left fielder Ken Henderson. As Mike Perkins went 2 innings, gave up no runs on 2 hits, walked nobody, struck out 5. Dave Roberts, the starter, the pitcher of record for San Diego. Paid attendance at San Diego tonight, 34,861. 34861. Drive to deep right field. Back goes Ollie Brown. Still going back. Can't get it. It's over his head and off the wall. Spire digs into second base. Holds with a double. Al Severinsen's first pitch when he took over is a double over Brown's head in right field. Spire gets his first hit. The Giants ninth, and Juan Marichal will be up trying to move Chris Spire to third base. Don Sutton has singled to center for the Dodgers with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. The Giants, this crowd tonight, fall just short of the 2 million mark on the road. Series here in San Diego. The Giants drew 65,237, a new 3-game record for the Padres. Marichal to bunt, misses, or foul tipped it. Strike 1. A new 3-day home attendance record for San Diego, 65,237. Certainly everybody in the National League would like to see the Padres start drawing. It's always a treat to come to San Diego, weather-wise and people-wise. Marichal squaring to bunt. Spire lead at second. Juan takes high and away. A 1-1 count. Severinsen looks at second. Marichal squaring to bunt. Misses. Strike 2. Marichal. Now with a count of a ball and 2 strikes as Juan has twice failed to bunt the ball. Marichal now is not squared away to bunt, although he still might. Severinsen set, Juan 2 bunts, bunts it to the first base side to Colbert. He'll make the tag on Marichal, is going to third as Spire. Well, Marichal with 2 strikes on him gets the job done. Corey Wills is single for the Dodgers, sending Don Sutton around to third, so the Dodgers with runners at first and third and 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. The score tied there 1-1. Padres pull the infield in as Kenny Henderson moves in. Kenny flied to center in the first, flied to left in the third, walked in the 5th, struck out in the 7th. Fire down the line at third. Henderson hits a high pop-up. This will not score a run unless it drops in. Stahl racing in at left field. It drops in between them. Coming in to score is Spire. Going to second is Henderson. Alla is good. Kenny Henderson hit a high pop fly down the left field line. With the infield pulled in, it was an almost impossible play for the shortstop, Dean, and Stahl simply could not get there, although both of them stopped. I don't believe either one was going to catch it if they kept right on running. It drops in for a double for Henderson, an RBI, and the Giants lead 4-1. Here's Tito Fuentes, who is 3 for 4. Doubled in the first, singled and scored a run in the fourth, got into a double play in the 5th, had an infield hit in the 7th. Tito batting left-handed against the right-hander Severinsen. Severinsen to the plate. Fastball strike. Severinsen, a big guy, obtained by the Padres from Baltimore last winter. Henderson, a lead at second. Severinsen looks back there. Dean trying to keep him close. Pitch to Tito is flashed foul to the left into the stands. An 0-2 count. Dodgers have gone in front on a sacrifice fly. Don Sutton has scored the go-ahead run in the bottom of the seventh. 2-1 game. The Dodgers still batting a runner at first, 2 outs. Henderson, a short lead at second base. Now Kenny Lakes is it. The Padres try to keep him close. 0-2 pitch to Tito. High inside, brushing him back, ball 1. Two strikes. Padre bullpen busy. 1-2 pitch to Fuentes. Grounded foul to the left. The count remains at a ball and 2 strikes. Count on Tito. Padre outfield, shallow and left and center, a bit deeper and right. Stevenson looking back at second where Henderson leads. The 1-2 pitch. Hit high and deep to right field. Ollie Brown going back, still going back to the warning path, makes the catch. Henderson tags at second, will head for third. Fuentes fly deep to right with Ollie Brown making the catch on the warning path. Henderson moves up to third base, and Willie Mays will be the Giants' batter. Mays fouled out in the first inning, doubled to drive in the Giants' first run in the fourth, walked in the fifth, was called out on strikes in the seventh. Henderson at third with 2 outs. The run in the top of the ninth as the Giants lead 4-1. Henderson bluffs down the line, and a block might be called. A block is called. Henderson bluffed Al Severinsen into a block. Brilliant play by Kenny. Henderson scores on the block. And the Giants all run out to congratulate Henderson. That's like a base hit. Kenny, with Severinsen standing on the rubber, Kenny broke down the line at third, and Severinsen blocked. Play to Mays is a strike, I believe. Or did he check in time? The umpire checked. No, he did not go through with his swing. Mays with a count of 1 ball, no strike. Severinsen into the motion. The pitch to Mays. High ball 2. The end of 7. The Dodgers lead 2-1. Pop-up, right side of the infield. Second baseman Don Mason coming over towards first. Makes the catch to retire the side. For the Giants in the ninth. 2 runs. On 2 hits. No Padres errors, no runners left on. We go to the bottom of the ninth, and the Giants lead it 5-1.
Well, as far as the Giants are concerned, it's Mason, Jestet, and Jeter, and that's it. They can go home as winners of the National League Western Division Championship and get set to meet Pittsburgh for the National League playoffs. What the Dodgers do against Houston means nothing if the Giants hold on to this lead, which at the moment stands at 5-1, with the top of the San Diego Padres order coming up in the bottom half of the ninth inning. Other National League scores: Pittsburgh 4-3 over Philadelphia. New York beat St. Louis 6-1, with Tom Seaver winning his 20th game. He finishes the season at 20-10. Chicago knocks off Montreal 5-3. Ferguson Jenkins won his 24th game against 13 losses. Bill Stoneman was the loser for Montreal, his record at 17-16. And Atlanta beat Cincinnati 6-2, housed the winner, Wilcox the loser. Perez hit his 25th home run for Cincinnati, and in that Pittsburgh-Philadelphia game, won by the Pirates 4-3, Willie Montanez hit his 30th for the Phillies.
Bottom of the ninth at San Diego Stadium. San Diego Padres at the top of the order, and everybody throws in the Giant bullpen. Jerry Johnson, Steve Hamilton. Don McMahon has been throwing. Jim Barr has been throwing. Padres at the top of the order with second baseman Don Mason. third baseman Gary Chestnut, and center fielder John Jeter. Juan Marichal is back to home plate. Dusts his cap, goes to the rosin bag. Mason, line to center in the first, struck out in the third, beat out a bunt in the sixth inning. Lanier crowds in at third. Marichal kicks and fires. A screwball for a strike. Juan over the top. Screwball low. A 1-1 count. Juan kicks again over the top. Fastball, loop to left field. Henderson is right there. Moves 2 steps towards the line. He's got it out, number 1. The third baseman, Gary Chestnut, slide to right in the first, called out on strikes in the fourth, grounded to short in the sixth. Marichal's pitch to the right-handed batter. Breaking ball a bit too low, ball 1. Roger Metzger has led off the Houston 8th with a single. Drive to deep left field. Henderson going back to the wall. This one is off the wall. Fire racing out into left field will make the play as it comes off the wall, and Chestnut has a double. Chestnut crashes one off the fence. Metzger has now stolen second for the Astros, so Houston has the tying run at second with nobody out. Zito Fuentes and Hal Lanier come in to talk to Marichal. John Jeter, the center fielder, will be the batter. And an infield hit in the first, slide to right in the fourth, line to center in the sixth. With 1 out in the ninth, and the Giants leading 5-1. Chestnut has doubled off the left field wall. Marichal's pitch from the right-handed batter. Outside, ball 1. Now the 2 runs that the Giants scored in the top of the ninth loom much, much larger. Marichal looking at second where Chestnut leads. Juan comes to the plate, 1-0. Curve is looped into right center field. Kingman coming over. He's there. Dave's got it. Out number 2. Kingman fires into Spire at second base. Joe Morgan has popped up for the first out in Los Angeles. Now Nate Colbert will be the batter. Colbert 0 for 3. Grounded to short in the first, again in the fourth, struck out in the seventh. Two outs in the bottom of the ninth. The Giants lead 5-1. Gary Chestnut at second base. Juan looking at second base. Right-handed batting Colbert waits. Marichal's pitch is grounded foul and back of the plate, strike 1. A roll of you-know-what has just been thrown out on the field. Marichal on the grass in front of the mound, rubbing up a new baseball. Chestnut standing a step away from second base. Marichal taking his time. Cedeno has struck out for the second out of Los Angeles. Nate Colbert waiting in the batter's box. Big right-handed hitter lays the bat on his right shoulder. Marichal's 0-1 pitch. Grounded to shortstop. Fire's got it. He throws to McCovey. That's it. The Giants have won it. Marichal is bobbed at the mound by the entire Giant ball club. Juan Marichal, who started it all here at San Diego Stadium 162 long games ago, by beating the Padres 4-0, beats them 5-1, going in difference for the 5 hitter. misses. I think it was fitting that tonight the first run of the ball game was driven in by the Giant captain, Willie Mays. As soon as Juan completes his television, we will go down to the clubhouse. We'll be talking with the Giants as jubilation reigns supreme. And here's the second happiest guy in the world, next to me, Lon Simmons.
Willie, get down there and check in with us as soon as you get down there. And we'll be having the celebration from the clubhouse as Bill Thompson heads for the clubhouse. A brilliant pitching performance by Juan Marichal. And the totals on the game, 5 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error for the Giants. 1 run, 5 hits, no errors for the Padres. Marichal wins his 18th. He has lost 11. The same record he had in 1962 when the Giants won the pennant. Now it's on to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Saturday at Candlestick Park. The Dodgers are still playing against Houston, but that is unimportant now as the Giants have won the Western Division Championship, their second title since coming to San Francisco, and it took the final day of the season. And this, to the date, 9 years to the date today since the Giants won their pennant in 1962. They have not won the National League Championship, but they are in the championship as they will face the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2 games at Candlestick Park, Saturday and Sunday at 1 o'clock. We will be on the air, of course, with the broadcast of those games at 12:40. There are still some tickets available at Candlestick Park for those playoff games. What a dramatic ball game. A 5-1 ball game would not ordinarily be dramatic, but this one really had the dramatics. Rookie Dave Kingman put in the lineup because the Giants' leading home run hitter and leading RBI man, Bobby Bonds, could not play. He had a torn muscle in his side. Kingman, his second time up, hit a 2-run homer. As in the 4th inning, the Giants scored 3 times. 20s, who had 3 hits in tonight's ball game, opened the inning with a single. And this after Tito had doubled in the 1st inning and been thrown out at the plate by Ollie Brown trying to score on a single by Willie McCovey. And as he tried to score, he was tagged out at the plate by Bob Barton. But then 20s singled in the 4th inning. Willie Mays doubled 420 feet from the plate to score 20s with the first run of the game. McCovey lined to center. Dave Kingman, the rookie, tagged one into the seat in left field to give the Giants a 3-0 lead. From that point on, the Giants were held pretty well in check until the 9th inning, when Chris Fire, against the 4th Dodger pitcher, or 4th Padre pitcher, Al Severson, doubled off the right field wall. Marichal sacrificed him to third, and then with the infield drawn in, Henderson popped one into short left. The ball dropped in for a double with Fire scoring. Henderson then went to third as 20s fly deep to right and came in on a balk to give the Giants a 5-1 victory. The Marichal in the bottom half of the inning got the first man, Mason, to fly out. Just that doubled off the wall. Jeter flied out and Colbert grounded to a rookie. Chris Fire playing only his 2nd season in professional baseball. His first in the majors. And Chris fielded the ball flawlessly, took his time and threw him out for the final out of the game. The performance by Marichal, superb. He gave up an infield hit to Jeter in the 1st. In the 5th inning, Ollie Brown leading off, grounded one, which should have been an easy out. So McCovey left the bag, trying to field the ball, and Fuentes fielded the ball. And when Tito, Bill, we have got you down there in the Giant clubhouse.
Now I had Charlie Fox here. Now
all right, right back.
Well, grab Charlie and give us a yell as soon as
All right, I will.
I'll get Mike Murphy to help you down there. Well, I'm getting Mike to help me. I had him over here, but I couldn't get through to you. I guess. Well, I know it's a madhouse, so as soon as you get somebody, give us a yell. Charlie is now being thrown in the shower after having been drenched with champagne. So be careful of the shower yourself. Pardon? I say be careful of the shower yourself. Yeah, I know it. And don't pull a Hugh McElhenney on us. This place is sort of a don't get electrocuted. See if I can get somebody else. Stand by, Liner. Go ahead and sit over that bar. All right. As we mentioned, going back to Marichal's performance, Brown safe on an error when Marichal couldn't handle Pointy's throw at first base. It was a tough chance for Juan, and it went as an error on Marichal. Then Stahl was thrown out. Brown going to second. Martin, then the former Giant, then singled to center to drive in the only run that Marichal allowed. He gave up an infield hit in the 6th. He gave up an infield hit in the 8th, and he gave up the double that just hit in the 9th. I have Charlie Fox now. All right, okay, Bill, take it away. Charlie, I guess when this thing all started, they said it was the year of the Fox, and now maybe you really feel like it is. Oh, that one pitch a marvelous game, and that big team that just trashed the ball. Everybody played wonderful. It was a great victory for us. We won it ourselves. I think that's a big thing, doesn't it, Charlie? The fact you don't have to worry about what the Dodgers did tonight. Let them play. No, I don't think we were worried about them. We knew that we had our good man going, and fellas were up for the game, and they played great. Charlie, it's a great thing that I think Marichal started it all here, the first game of the season, by beating the Padres on a shot. He very easily could have had another one tonight. Juan said to me today, he says, you know, in 62, I won 18 and lost 11. I was on a pennant winner. He says, well, I'm going to win 18 and lose 11, and we're going to be another pennant winner tonight. Charlie, how about the feelings? Your own personal feelings right now. The heck with being a manager. How do you feel personally? Oh, I feel wonderful. This is a great bunch of guys, and it's just wonderful to be associated with them. Well, this is your first full year as a manager in the big leagues. You won the National League West, and that's about par for the course. Well, these are all my men, and I knew they could do it. They've been fighting injuries and everything else, and they've done a marvelous job. Well, Charlie, congratulations. Your champagne is running down in your eyes. I don't think you minded that, but congratulations. Thanks very much for stopping by, Rich. Juan, if you will, I'll let you fill again for a minute or come. I try to get the Giant captain over here. Tell you what we'll do, Bill. We'll wind this thing up as big as we've heard from the manager, and then come back in our Giants clubhouse. So you get a couple of guys there, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes or so with the rest of the celebration. All right? Okay, very good. Pardon? All right. Now this is Lon Simmons for Bill Thompson, our producer, Rich Smalley, reminding you to stay tuned for the Giants clubhouse which follows, inviting you to be back with us Saturday for the Giants Pirates game from Candlestick Park, broadcast time 12:40. Our network engineer, Walt Lee. The final score again, the Giants 5 and the Padres 1 for the Western Division Championship.
Okay, so the San Francisco Giants have done it by knocking off the San Diego Padres by the score of 5-1, and that's it. San Francisco has won the Western Division Championship. We'd like to thank for their description of tonight's game, Lon Simmons and Bill Thompson. We will not be going to the Giants Clubhouse show. That's a separate show from their ball game. But, you know, one thing is for sure, whenever an announcer goes down there like that, after somebody's won the pennant, he's taking his life into his own hands. A very notable example, I believe it was Ray Lane of Detroit when the Tigers won the American League flag in 1968. He was down in the dressing room, did a couple of interviews, and somebody said, hey, Ray, let me hold your microphone a second. Grabbed the microphone, and bam, they threw him into the whirlpool. So it can get kind of tough down there sometimes. Quickly reviewing the scoreboard in the National League, Pittsburgh 4-3 over Philadelphia. New York 6, St. Louis 1, Seaver 1 is 20th. Chicago 5, Montreal 3, Jenkins 1 is 24th. It was Atlanta 6-2 over Cincinnati. And in the game you're just listening to, San Francisco 5-1 over San Diego. In the American League, it was California 3, Minnesota 2, Chicago 2, Milwaukee 1, and New York 9, Washington nothing. That ball game forfeited to New York. Our thanks again to Lon Simmons and Bill Thompson as San Francisco has won the National League West by defeating San Diego 5-1. This is Ken Allen speaking for engineer Ed Cranock, and this has been a presentation of AFRTS Sports in Washington. This is the American Forces Radio and